The air over Coyote Pass hums with the soft whine of survey drones. The crew from TLC stands in silence as the screens flicker with green lines, marking borders, measuring acres. Christine squints toward the horizon, shading her eyes against the glare. Janelle folds her arms, the wind pulling at her hair. And then one of the techs freezes. His monitor flashes red. Something isn't right. Half of the property, the land Kody swore belonged entirely to him and Robyn, appears in the system as registered under Janelle Brown's name. The producer whispers, "Is this real data?" The surveyor nods. Christine steps closer. "You're saying this side, this entire portion is Janelle's?" The man hesitates. "Legally, yes. The records say so. I don't know how." A silence falls so thick it swallows the wind. Kody storms out from the trailer, shouting, "You think this is funny? You hacked something! You're trying to humiliate me on camera!" Janelle's voice is calm, but her eyes are steel. "I didn't hack anything, Kody. Maybe for once. The truth just came out on its own. Sometimes the truth doesn't explode. It leaks out slowly until no one can stop the flood." The camera zooms in on the blinking drone monitor. The boundary line cutting right through the heart of Coyote Pass. The crew keeps rolling even as Robyn yells for them to stop. Her voice cracks. "Turn those things off. They're lying!" But the footage keeps running, and within hours, TLC producers have copies of everything. That night, Christine uploads a file on her laptop. It's titled Survey Original 2018 MP4. She plays it quietly in her kitchen, listening to the voice on the recording. Kody's voice, unmistakable. Sharp with irritation. "Just change the boundary line," he says. "Janelle's section will move north. No one will notice. I'll pay you when it's filed." Christine's jaw tightens. "So he really did it," she whispers. She looks up toward the window, where the lights of Flagstaff flicker faintly against the night. He actually paid someone. When a man lies to the world, that's one thing. But when he lies to the women who built it with him, the world eventually catches up. The next morning, Janelle and Christine meet in a courthouse parking lot. They don't need to speak much. Christine holds up a manila envelope. It's the recording. He can't deny it now. Janelle's face hardens. "We're not doing this for revenge. We're doing it because he's been stealing our future inch by inch." Christine nods. "Then let's take back what's ours." They walk into the courthouse, past reporters, past camera flashes. Kody's already inside, red-faced, sitting beside Robyn, who clings to his arm as though her grip can keep everything from falling apart. Inside, the courtroom smells faintly of coffee and paper dust. The judge adjusts her glasses and looks down. "We're here to discuss the survey discrepancies related to Coyote Pass." Kody stands. "This is ridiculous. These so-called wives are just trying to get fame. The records are wrong. I'll prove it." Christine's lawyer rises. "Then you won't mind if we play a recording." Kody freezes. His jaw flexes, eyes darting toward Robyn, who's already trembling. The judge nods. "Proceed." The sound plays through the courtroom speakers, Kody's voice flat and cold. "Just move the boundary lines. She'll never know." The room goes silent except for Robyn's quiet gasp. Kody mutters under his breath, "That's not me. That's AI. Someone faked it." The judge leans forward. "That was your voice, Mr. Brown, and we will verify that through forensic audio analysis. You can deny a rumor, but you can't outrun your own voice." Janelle stares straight ahead, her hands folded in her lap. Christine glances at her, then back to Kody, who's now gripping the table edge, his knuckles white. His lawyer whispers something, but Kody shakes him off. "This is all edited," Kody snaps. "You think I'd risk my land, our land, for some stupid contract error?" The judge holds up a hand. "Mr. Brown, this isn't about contracts. It's about ownership and truth." Christine steps forward. "Your Honor, we have more than the audio. We have call logs, emails, and bank transfers. The contractor who performed the alteration is ready to testify." Kody's face drains of color. "You don't know what you're talking about." Christine smirks faintly. "Don't I? Because he's sitting in that hallway right now, waiting to be called." The judge nods. "We'll bring him in next session. For now, I advise everyone to prepare accordingly." The gavel strikes once, echoing through the room. Robyn bursts into tears. Kody leans back, whispering harshly, "You shouldn't have pushed me." Christine watches him quietly. Her tone softens but cuts deep. "No, Kody, you shouldn't have lied. Secrets rot the roots of every empire, and today, his was starting to crumble." Outside, reporters shout questions. Christine says nothing. Janelle simply walks past, eyes focused ahead. Behind them, Kody and Robyn step out into the flashing lights. Kody mutters to the cameras, "It's all fake." You'll see, but back inside, the judge has already signed a temporary injunction. No sales, no transfers, no movement on Coyote Pass until further notice. The camera pans out across the land once more. The same drone hum, the same wind, but everything feels different. For the first time in years, the truth is louder than Kody Brown's voice. When pride collides with evidence, only one survives, and the next witness might just end the game entirely. What do you think will happen when the contractor takes the stand? Will he stay loyal to Kody or expose everything? Let me know your thoughts below. The door creaks open slowly. All eyes turn as the contractor walks into the courtroom. He's not what anyone expected. He's younger than Kody, wearing jeans and a pressed button-down. But it's the nervous clench of his jaw and the way he keeps touching his pocket that gives him away. He's not used to this. Not the spotlight. Not this level of consequence. "State your name for the record," the judge says. He clears his throat. "Evan Keller. Licensed land contractor. Arizona and Nevada certified." Christine leans forward, eyes locked on him. Janelle doesn't blink. Kody crosses his arms, but his foot taps restlessly beneath the table. The lawyer steps up. "Mr. Keller, are you aware of why you've been called today?" "I am," Evan says, voice quiet but steady. "It's about Coyote Pass, the land job I was hired for in 2018. The lawyer nods. "Who hired you?" Evan doesn't even look at Kody. "Kody Brown." A whisper ripples through the courtroom. Kody exhales sharply, muttering, "Unbelievable." The moment of truth doesn't always roar. It whispers from the lips of someone you never thought would speak. The lawyer continues. "Did Mr. Brown ask you to modify any official property documents?" Evan's throat moves as he swallows hard. Then he nods. "Yes. He asked me to adjust the boundary lines, specifically to move Janelle's lot north by 1.8 acres. Said she wouldn't know, said it was for balance, whatever that meant. I refused at first. You refused?" "Yeah. I said it was illegal unless the title owner approved it in writing. That's when he said he'd handle the approval. Couple days later, he forwarded me a PDF with what looked like Janelle's signature." The judge narrows her eyes. "Do you have this email?" "I brought printed copies, Your Honor. And the original attachment." He opens the folder in his hands, fingers trembling slightly. The documents slide onto the evidence table, face up. Christine gasps quietly. Janelle leans in and her voice breaks. That's not my signature." Kody slams his hand on the table. "You're lying, Evan. You begged me for that job. I gave you work when no one else would." "Don't forget that." Evan turns slowly. "You're right. You gave me work, but not for this. This crossed the line. Even the people you paid off will turn against you. If they remember who they were before they feared you." Robyn reaches for Kody's arm, but he pulls away, shaking with rage. "I'll sue you for defamation. This is character assassination." Christine stands. "You didn't need help destroying your character, Kody. You did that all by yourself." The judge calls for silence. "We will verify this email chain and the signature through official channels. But based on the witness's sworn statement and submitted evidence, this court will proceed under the assumption that fraud may have occurred." Robyn is crying openly now, whispering, "I told you not to send those emails." Kody snaps at her. "You said they'd never come up." Janelle turns toward them slowly. Her voice is calm, but her hands are clenched. "I never signed anything. I never approved that transfer." "And you had the nerve to act like I owed you something." Kody tries to speak, but the judge holds up her hand. "Not another word, Mr. Brown." A bailiff approaches with a tablet. The court clerk whispers something into the judge's ear. She nods, then looks to Christine's attorney. "You mentioned bank transfers?" The lawyer steps forward confidently. "Yes, Your Honor. We subpoenaed Mr. Brown's business bank account. The transfer from his LLC to Mr. Keller's account occurred 3 days after the boundary update was filed. It was labeled consulting bonus." Evan winces. "I didn't even know what the transfer was for." "He told me it was a Christmas gift." The judge tilts her head. "A $14,000 Christmas gift?" Sometimes the money talks louder than any defense ever could. Robyn suddenly stands, voice trembling. "This isn't right. You're acting like we're criminals. We just wanted the land to feel united. We had to build a family compound." Christine stares at her, stunned. "So you knew?" Robyn hesitates. The room holds its breath. "I didn't see the paperwork. I didn't know he was moving lines, but I knew he was worried about Janelle pulling out. He said she didn't deserve more land than us." The courtroom erupts. Reporters whisper rapidly into recorders. Janelle's lawyer smiles grimly. The judge bangs her gavel. Enough. This case is rapidly evolving into a criminal matter. We will recess briefly while I consult with state officials on whether this warrants referral to the district attorney. Christine grabs Janelle's hand. This is it. He's cornered. Janelle nods, eyes wet. I don't want revenge. I just want my name cleared. I just want my kids to know I didn't give up what was ours. Outside the courtroom, a TLC producer paces nervously. We've never filmed anything like this before, he whispers. This is history. When the truth becomes too heavy to carry alone, it breaks wide open, and everyone gets crushed or cleansed. Back inside, Kody sits alone at the table. Robyn has stepped out. His hands tremble. His eyes dart around like a trapped animal. Then his phone buzzes. It's a message from a private number. One sentence, one threat. I have the second recording. His face goes pale. He looks up, heart pounding. But it's too late. The judge has returned, and so has Evan. Only this time, Evan's mic is still on, hot. And something he said off record is about to change everything. Evan hadn't realized his microphone was still hot. Not until the bailiff gave him a strange look, one that made him freeze mid-sentence as he whispered to the court clerk. The entire courtroom watched in confused silence as the sound technician waved his hand from the back of the room. The judge leaned in. Mr. Keller, you said something just now. Can you repeat it? Evan's face turned crimson. He swallowed hard and stepped back to the stand. Your Honor, I was just confirming that there is another recording. Kody's head snapped up like he'd been struck. What? Evan continued, voice quieter now. After the boundary lines were moved, I kept a backup audio file, not just the call with Kody. There's another one. With Robyn, Christine's entire posture changed. She stiffened, her lips slightly parted. Janelle leaned forward, brows pinched together. Even the reporters held their breath. Robyn, who had just returned to the courtroom with puffy eyes and a crumpled tissue in hand, froze like her soul left her body. That's a lie. It's not, Evan said, more confident now. You called me. You asked me to make sure the documents weren't traceable to you. You said, make it look like Kody acted alone. I kept the file, just in case. When someone hides behind another's guilt, the truth eventually pulls them into the light too. The courtroom was silent for several long seconds. The judge looked over her glasses and said coldly, Mr. Keller, you will submit that recording immediately. This court is now investigating a conspiracy to commit real estate fraud. Kody stood suddenly. This is a setup, a witch hunt. Christine has wanted to destroy me for years, and now you're all just helping her do it. Christine stood too. No, Kody, you destroyed yourself the moment you started erasing us from our own land. You think this is just about property? It's about betrayal. Kody turned to Janelle. You were never supposed to turn on me. We had a deal. Janelle's voice cracked, but her gaze stayed sharp. We had a family. That was supposed to be the deal. The deepest betrayals don't happen in silence. They happen while pretending everything is still okay. Robyn collapsed into her seat, covering her face. The judge called for order as whispers rose like a tidal wave from every corner of the courtroom. Christine's lawyer stepped up. Your Honor, I request an immediate hearing on the fraudulent signatures and conspiracy between Mr. and Mrs. Brown. The judge agreed. We will proceed with an emergency evidentiary review. If either party refuses to cooperate, I will issue contempt charges. As Evan submitted the second recording to the court clerk, Kody turned to Robyn with fury in his eyes. You said you didn't speak to him. You said this was all on me. Robyn looked up, shaking. I had to protect us. You said you'd fix it. Kody's face twisted. You threw me under the bus and called that protection? The judge raised her voice. Mr. Brown, control yourself. But he wasn't listening anymore. You always said it was for the family. This wasn't for the family. This was for you. Robyn stood, now trembling, mascara streaked. I did it because you told me Christine and Janelle were done. That they'd given up the land. I believed you. Lies built on lies collapse harder than any truth ever could. Christine watched the chaos quietly, then turned to her lawyer. Play the second recording. The courtroom fell silent again. The speakers buzzed softly. Then Robyn's voice, high-pitched and nervous, came through. I don't want this traced back to me. Make it look like Kody did the request alone. If someone finds out, it'll destroy everything. Kody slammed his fist against the table. The judge stood. That's enough. Both of you, sit. The bailiff stepped forward as Robyn burst into sobs again. Christine whispered. That's the voice that told us we were a family. That's the voice that erased us. Janelle looked down, barely able to speak. The judge exhaled deeply. This court is now treating the matter as a joint conspiracy. We are escalating this to the Arizona State Attorney's Office. Until further notice, Coyote Pass is under full freeze, and all family LLCs are suspended pending criminal review. Robyn gasped. Wait, what does that mean? The judge didn't blink. It means your accounts. Your property, all of it, frozen. You can fake a signature. You can bend a boundary line. But you can't erase the law. Reporters rushed from the courtroom, already live tweeting the ruling. Flashbulbs popped through the glass of the courtroom door. The Brown name was now attached to a possible felony conspiracy, and it was only getting worse. Outside, Truly, Gabriel, and Aurora stood by the courthouse railings, watching with wide eyes. Aurora whispered, "They said Mom would never get caught." Gabriel shook his head. "That's because she always thought someone else would take the fall." Inside, Christine took a deep breath, her voice calm but shaking. "Your Honor, I also have something." The judge tilted her head. "Go on." Christine reached into her folder and pulled out a single printed sheet. This is a notarized witness statement from another contractor. Someone Robyn used for property clearing in 2021. He says Robyn told him not to speak to Janelle directly, that she no longer owned her portion of the land. That she and Kody took it back. Janelle's hand flew to her mouth. Robyn shouted, "That's not true!" Christine stepped forward, voice rising. "Isn't it? Because I think we're just scratching the surface." The judge nodded. "Then we'll dig deeper." She turned to the clerk, "Subpoena every contractor who's ever worked on Coyote Pass." And then she faced the room and issue an immediate arrest warrant for document forgery. Christine's heart skipped a beat, but it wasn't Kody's name on the warrant. It was Robyn's. The courtroom spun in slow motion. Robyn's face drained of color the second the judge read her name aloud. Robyn Alice Brown. This court finds sufficient cause to issue an arrest warrant for attempted forgery of real estate documents tied to Coyote Pass. She didn't move. Not at first. Her body stiffened, frozen in denial. The bailiff walked toward her, calm but steady. "No," she finally whispered. Kody rose in a panic. No, this isn't happening. She didn't sign anything." "You can't do this." "She's not the one who hired the surveyor." The judge didn't flinch. "Mr. Brown, sit down. This court has testimony, audio, and now written statements confirming your wife's involvement in the concealment and manipulation of legal documents. You are both under investigation." When the walls finally close in, the guilty scream loudest, not because they're innocent, but because they thought they'd never be caught. Robyn backed away from the bailiff, tears already cascading down her face. "I didn't do this," she sobbed. "I was just trying to protect Kody. I didn't mean to lie. I didn't know it was illegal." Christine looked away. Her heart wasn't gloating. It was breaking all over again. "She always said she was the honest one," Janelle murmured. "She wore that like a badge while we were being erased." Kody lunged forward. "She was trying to protect the family. All of you left us. You gave up on unity." Christine turned sharply. "Unity? You stole land. You forged documents. You silenced us. You gaslit us. That's not unity, Kody. That's abuse." The room went still. Kody froze like he'd been slapped. "You don't get to call me that." Christine's voice cracked. "I just did. It's not betrayal when the truth walks out on a lie. It's survival." Robyn was now sobbing uncontrollably, her knees giving out as the bailiff gently took her arms. "We're not cuffing her right now," he said softly to the judge. "But we'll escort her to intake after this session ends." The judge nodded. "We will reconvene at 2 p.m. for the custody review and civil seizure orders." Robyn's eyes darted to Kody. "Don't let them take everything. Please, don't let them take the house." Kody looked helpless. "Just empty?" His mouth opened, but no sound came out. As the bailiff led Robyn out, the cameras were rolling, capturing every second. Christine walked out a moment later, blinking against the light. Reporters swarmed her. "Christine, did you expect this? Is this justice for you? Do you feel vindicated?" She paused. "No, I feel sick." This was never about revenge. It was about stopping the bleeding. Janelle followed her out, holding a folder of bank records and emails she had printed from her own files. "I didn't want it to end this way," she said. "But we were pushed to the edge, and then past it. Sometimes justice isn't satisfying, it's just necessary." Inside, Kody sat alone now. His lawyer leaned in. "They have enough to indict. It's not just Robyn. You signed the emails too. We need to talk strategy." But Kody didn't answer. His phone buzzed again. "Same number." "Same number. Same message. I warned you. The third recording drops tomorrow." He stared at it, paralyzed. The judge cleared her throat. Before we recess, there's one final motion filed this morning. Christine's lawyer stood. Yes, Your Honor, we're requesting full ownership of Christine's original 4-acre share be returned, based on fraudulent encroachment, Janelle added quietly. And I'm requesting criminal investigation into how my name was removed from public records without a legal transfer. The judge nodded. Both motions are accepted. The court will move forward. The doors to the courtroom opened again, and this time, someone unexpected entered. A woman, early 30s, blonde. Tan. Holding a briefcase, the court clerk whispered, then leaned toward the judge. The judge blinked. You're who? The woman replied clearly, My name is Rachel Marks. I'm a former employee of Flagstaff County Clerk's office. I have something you need to hear. Kody looked up, horrified. The judge gestured. Then speak. Rachel opened her briefcase and took out a single CD and a signed affidavit. She placed it on the table. I was the one who filed the altered boundary lines. Under pressure. I was told to do it by someone very high up. I didn't come forward earlier because I was threatened. Christine and Janelle stood frozen. Kody whispered, No, not her. Rachel met his eyes and said one word. Rachel Marks stood tall. Her hands steady despite the rising tension in the room. Her voice didn't shake. I have no reason to be here except one. Truth. She slid the CD across the evidence table toward the judge. It spun once, stopping with its label facing up. The words were handwritten in black marker. Coyote Pass, alteration approval call. Kody's chest rose and fell rapidly, like someone trying not to drown. She's lying. The judge didn't flinch. We'll let the evidence speak. Rachel nodded. The CD contains an internal recording from our office's outgoing lines. It captured a call between Kody Brown and our department supervisor, dated July 9th, 2018. In it, Mr. Brown requests expedited boundary updates and says he has verbal authorization from all wives. Christine whispered sharply. That never happened. Rachel looked at her. We believed him. He said the family was consolidating and all documentation would follow. But then the paperwork came, with only 2 names, his and Robyn's. When deception wears the face of confidence, even institutions bow to its false charm. The courtroom technician popped the CD into the player. A moment later, static gave way to a familiar voice. Kody's voice. I've already spoken to Christine and Janelle. They're done with the land. Just file it to Robyn and me. Trust me, it's fine. The judge raised an eyebrow. Rachel stepped forward. We flagged it internally, but our supervisor signed off. I didn't know until months later that the wives hadn't actually agreed. Christine turned to Janelle, stunned. He told the government we walked away. Janelle shook her head slowly. He told me I'd always have my peace, that I just needed to trust him. Christine looked away. He used our silence as consent. The absence of protest does not equal permission, especially when the truth was buried under control. The judge folded her hands. This is no longer about a boundary dispute. We are now looking at coordinated fraud and misrepresentation of legal authority. Ms. Marks, your statement will be included in our file to the district attorney. Rachel took a breath. I'll testify. Outside the courtroom, Robyn sat on a bench, her hands shaking. A legal aide stood beside her, trying to explain the next steps in the intake process. But Robyn wasn't listening. She was watching the screen in the hallway, where TLC had installed a feed from the court. She watched Rachel speak. She heard the recording, and for the first time, her expression changed. From fear to fury. Inside, Kody turned to his lawyer. We can still settle this, right? I'll give the land back. I'll sign whatever they want. The lawyer shook his head. It's not just about land now, Kody. You lied to a government office. That's a felony! Kody slammed his fist on the table. She was supposed to delete that call. She promised me it wouldn't exist. The judge stared coldly. Did you just admit that on record? The courtroom erupted in gasps. Christine whispered to her attorney. We need to move fast. Before he spins this again, her attorney stood. Your Honor, given this new admission, we request that Coyote Pass titles be immediately reviewed by an independent trustee, pending the criminal outcome. The judge nodded slowly. Granted. And I'm assigning a state investigator to handle all Brown family financials. Every LLC, every trust, every asset. Justice doesn't knock politely. It kicks the door open when you least expect it. Outside, Robyn stood up suddenly. She stormed toward the courtroom doors, ignoring the aide's protests. She burst inside mid-proceeding, ignoring the gavel's warning. I want to speak. The judge sighed. You're not under oath, Mrs. Brown. Anything you say can and will be used. I don't care. Robyn shouted. I've kept quiet for years. I stayed loyal. I believed him. I backed every scheme. But I'm done, Kody rose. What are you doing? I'm saving myself, she snapped. You said it was fixed. You said Janelle signed it. I saw the papers. You told me she agreed. Janelle stared. I never saw a single document. Robyn was shaking now, her hair a mess, her voice unhinged. I didn't forge anything. I just delivered it. The folder? I handed it in. I thought it was already signed. The judge held up a hand. That's enough. No, it's not, Robyn sobbed. Because if I go down, Kody, you're going with me. Christine stood frozen. Did she just turn on him? Cody's mouth moved, but no words came out. His entire body deflated. Robyn pointed at him, eyes wide with betrayal. You swore we'd never be found out, Christine whispered to herself. And now? Here we are. The judge banged the gavel again. Take Mrs. Brown back to holding. This court is adjourned for 24 hours while we prepare criminal hearings. Sometimes the ones you protect are the ones who bring you down. As the court emptied, Christine and Janelle stood near the railing, overlooking the courthouse lobby. Reporters filled the lower floor like ants swarming a dropped secret. Did you ever think it would come to this? Janelle asked. Christine nodded slowly. Not like this. I thought maybe he'd get sued. Maybe we'd fight over money. But never this. Janelle's eyes watered. I kept telling myself it wasn't betrayal. That it was just Kody trying to stay in control. Christine's voice cracked. But it was betrayal. And the worst kind. The kind dressed up as love. Truth breaks hearts before it heals them. As they walked toward the elevator, a young woman stepped out. Aurora. She looked terrified. Christine stopped. Aurora, what are you doing here? Aurora looked around, then leaned in. There's something I need to give you. She pulled out a folded paper and handed it to Christine. It's from my mom. She wrote it after that call with the surveyor. She said if anything ever went wrong, to give this to you. Christine opened it slowly, eyes scanning the first few lines. Then her mouth dropped open and her knees buckled because the note didn't just name names. It included a list of bank accounts, property transfers. And one entry that changed everything. Janelle's parcel was sold. In secret, under my name. To an LLC in Las Vegas. Janelle stared. My land was sold? Christine looked up. No, it was stolen. The news exploded like dynamite. Within hours, our Coyote Pass fraud was trending in 3 countries. TMZ ran the headline. Kody and Robyn under state investigation. Exes fight for stolen land. Every podcast, every gossip panel, every legal analyst had something to say. And outside the Flagstaff courthouse, fans showed up in lawn chairs, holding signs, Justice for Janelle. Christine was right. Robyn knew. And one that read, Land back to the real wives. Christine stood in her hotel room that morning, staring at the flat screen on the wall. A panel of attorneys debated the future of the Brown estate on national TV. The recordings, the forged boundary lines, the whistleblower, it's a disaster, one analyst said. But the real bombshell is the Vegas LLC. If Janelle's parcel was sold without consent, that's outright theft. When public opinion turns into a roar, the walls you built to hide behind come crashing down. Janelle walked in holding coffee and printouts from their joint attorney. Her eyes were tired, her face pale. I barely slept, she admitted. I keep thinking, how many people knew and said nothing? Christine didn't speak for a moment. Then, enough that we were erased without a trace. Janelle handed her a sheet. This is the LLC registration. It's real. Set up in 2021 under Robyn's cousin's name. Property value estimate, $1.3 million. Christine blinked. That's your land. Was, Janelle said, voice hollow. They both turned when the door opened again. Miri stood there, holding a file. They did it to me too, she said softly. The Vegas parcel I thought I had? Gone. Transferred the same day Kody promised me my name was still safe on the deed. Christine moved toward her. You have proof? Mary's eyes watered. Bank statements, notarized documents, and I made a copy of a call I recorded back in 2020. Between Kody and Robyn, it's short, but they were celebrating. Janelle's mouth dropped open. Celebrating what? Mary placed the USB on the table, him saying, It's all ours now. The moment the people you trusted the most laugh about stealing from you, your healing becomes war. Later that afternoon, the courthouse flooded again with reporters. But this time, the fans were louder. A man wearing a Team Janelle hoodie stood beside his wife, holding a hand-painted sign. Fraud isn't family. Inside, Christine, Janelle, and Marie sat side by side at the witness bench for the